Yeah, well, thanks for staying up late with us, guys. We appreciate you coming. We think it was a great night for us. The four guys we drafted, 3 in the first round and 1 in the second round, we think have bright futures. We think they have great potential. And I feel like in the draft with our 4 picks, we got a blend of a little bit of everything. We got some scoring, we got some shooting, we got some playmaking. We got a proven winner and one of the top players in Europe. And so we feel like it was a great night. And I guess with that, we'll open it up for questions.
What attracted you about TJ and Tyler? What's at each one separate?
TJ is an elite scorer. He was one of the best scorers in the country. He was the player of the year. I believe both the coaches and the media voted him player of the year in the ACC, which is one of the best conferences in the country. He has a unique ability to put the ball in the basket, and he's got good size and strength. But more importantly, he has terrific instincts and a fantastic touch around the basket. So we feel like he has a lot of the things you can't teach. He still needs to keep working on his outside shooting, but we think he has a chance to be a pretty special offensive player.
I think I'll just hit on TJ while we're talking about him. Some of the little things that he does in terms of his hands, snagging the ball. He catches passes that are great passes. He'll be able to grab them. And in the NBA game, there's a lot of grab and hold, and he's strong enough to fight through all that stuff. So those little things for me, were good.
For the black one?
Yeah. You mentioned during one of the pre-draft workouts when TJ was in that his defense impressed you more than you noticed on film. You thought he played better defense in the workout. Did that really sway you at all?
So for me, watching it did. A lot of these guys that are big scorers in college, I think the coaches are telling them, hey, don't foul, don't get in foul trouble. And they may look terrible defensively on tape, but then when you get them live and see, and it's not just the guy was trying to guard somebody. In one of our drills, it was a mix. One time he guarded a point guard, next time it was forward, and the next time it was a center trying to back him down, and he stopped all 3 of them pretty easily. So things like that stuff off the new on the defensive side.
Yeah, he's going to be able to expand his shooting.
I think if you practice enough, everybody's going to increase their shooting range. And he's got a shot; he can make those. And he'll continue to work on them, and we'll put him through a lot of drills and lots of shots and reps. And if there's any little things that can help him out, we'll try to do that. But I think, like Ryan said, he's such a great scorer. He's not going to have to rely on a 3-point shot. He'll be able to move it off the ball. He'll be able to catch it on the move. And once he is on the move, he's very slick and knows when to pick the ball up and go into the shot or take an extra dribble and kick it out. I think Ryan said it earlier, he's got a great feel for the game offensively.
Ryan, where do you see Tyler fitting in given your point guard situation?
As you know, we start 2 guys who I guess would primarily be defined as point guards. We really value having multiple ball handlers on the floor. We think our ability to run, pick and rolls on either side of the floor, and also to push the ball in transition, either via the pass or via the dribble, we feel like that's a strength for us. And so we wanted to keep adding to it. And we had some injuries last year to go on Dragic and Eric Bledsoe. And H. Smith did a terrific job and stepped up and played very well. But we feel like, especially given the fact that we play 2, obviously not at all times, but a lot of the time, we wanted to make sure that was a position of strength for us. And with Tyler, his composure at his age stands out. If you look at his numbers in close and late games, they were terrific, like unbelievably good. What he did down the stretch of games with the game on the line, he needed a shot to win or tie the game or need somebody to make a play to bring the team back. He did it at a remarkable rate, and that's pretty rare for a 19-year-old freshman. One time I think Syracuse was 25-0, and the number 1 ranked team in the country, And I thought he was clearly the best player on that team. So for a young freshman point guard, just to be able to step into that role and lead, a group of older guys and win a lot of games, I think that shows a lot of maturity and a lot of talent. And we're very happy to get him.
With all of the trade talk leading up to the draft, is there any surprise that you ended up at the end of the night with the 4 picks?
It's a good question. You never really know what to expect. We were prepared for a number of different scenarios. We had all of our guys, especially TJ and Tyler, rated a lot higher than where they got drafted. So we talked some about packaging picks to move up, but as the draft was kind of unfolding, obviously those are tough calls, and you don't know exactly how it's going to go. But we were confident that at least one of those guys was going to be there at 14, and we felt good about it. And then when we took TJ and Tyler was still there at 18, we were ecstatic about that because we got the 2 guys we wanted.
Ryan, would you characterize this group as just players of more skill and savvy than just out-of-pocket athletes?
Yeah, I think that's the case. They're just very efficient, effective basketball players. We talked about TJ's scoring instincts, Tyler's ability to have a sense for where the other 9 guys are on the floor and to run a team at a young age and do it, while getting a lot of assists and not turning the ball over and while showing great poise and maturity under pressure. That all stood out. Those are kind of the things we identified in those 2 guys. And we think from a character and work ethic standpoint, they'll fit right in, and that's one of the things we really value. And I think one of the reasons we had more success than most people expected last year is because we have a group of high character guys who work hard and play unselfishly and play together. And I think TJ and Tyler will fit right in with our group.
You guys said all along that it would be hard for rookies to get rotation time next year, and so you didn't want to bring too many rookies in. Did these guys stand out to you as guys who possibly could earn minutes next year?
I think so. We'll have to see how they do in summer league and in the preseason workouts, training camp, and all that. But they played at a high level and they played very well. In the Atlantic Coast Conference, both TJ and Tyler were very effective. They carried their teams to a lot of wins. I can see them playing sooner rather than later, but obviously none of that's predetermined. We feel very good about the team that we're bringing back, and hope to potentially add to in free agency. So nothing's going to be given. I feel like over the last year or so we've really gotten deeper, more talented. So there'll be some good positional battles, I think, in training camp. But those guys certainly have the ability, as long as they're willing to keep working, which I think they are, and keep improving, that I don't see why they couldn't earn minutes at some point during the rookie years.
Jeff, you like envisioning how players can fit on the court now. How did you see TJ? How did you see him fitting in your particular style of play? And Ryan, how do you see him kind of panning out down the road from the best kind of point of view that you have on that?
Well, we want to get the ball up and down the court, and I think he's a great finisher. He's got all the moves. He'll go up and rise up and dunk on you, but a lot of times he doesn't even need to do that. He knows how to get the ball in the hole. And anytime you have a guy out there that can score, in our system with Goran and Eric, hopefully Channing, these guys, if we have assuming we have the same team back, spreading the floor, he's going to be able to kick out passes from those guys, and if they're running out at him, he'll be able to drive right around them and probably get to the basket. So again, I think it's just his feel of the game that no matter where he gets the ball, he moves very well without the ball. The back cuts and that stuff, that when teams are looking at our other players and how they're going to help and help out on Goran or Eric, he's going to slip behind them and get opportunities that way too. So he'll fit right in.
Ryan, you talked about how you had both TJ and Tyler rated higher than when you picked them. What were the emotions like when you see the picks coming in and there's a possibility you're going to get not one but both of the guys you want when you want?
It's exciting. On draft night, I think there's a little mix of anticipation, some nerves, obviously a lot of uncertainty about what the other teams are going to do. You hope it falls your way or the way you want it to fall. You try to gather as much information as you can from the other teams, as I know you guys try to do as well, and as you put together your mock drafts and try to figure out who will be available where. But it's an inexact science, and good information is difficult to obtain. I think part of that, to be honest with you, is because some of these are last-minute decisions. Teams are still deliberating even as the draft's going on, on the clock. So it was good. Sometimes you have to move or give up a lot, give up future picks, give up players to get exactly what you want. We didn't have to do any of that. We just kind of stayed where we were, and the guys fell to us, and we're certainly happy that they did.
Based on Bogdan's contract situation and conversations you've had with his agent and group, when do you feel he might be available or ready to come over to the team?
In 1 or 2 years. He's Bogdan Bogdanovic is one of the top young players in Europe. 6'6", good strength. He's very productive in the Adriatic League and the Euro League as well. So he's a fairly proven commodity for a 22-year-old player, and we expect him to anticipate that he'll return to Europe and play for Partizan in Belgrade, Serbia. They're one of the top teams in the former Yugoslavia, but also in all of Europe. And so he'll continue there. We'll retain his rights. We'll be very interested in his development. We'll send scouts over and maybe coaches over to work with him and make sure we're tracking his progress. But we feel like he's a guy who has a good chance to be an NBA rotation player at some point down the road.
Are these picks made in light of all the situations with free agency at those positions, PJ, Bledsoe, or the option with Ish?
It's all factored in. I guess with free agency, you're not sure exactly what's going to happen. We're really high on the 3 free agents we have. We'd like to bring all of them back if we're able to do that. We didn't draft anybody to be replacements for those guys. Let's put it that way. We drafted these guys because we think they can help solidify our depth, and because we want to keep bringing young talent into the pipeline, and we think they can be really good players down the road. But our top priority would be to bring back the free agents we have and add these guys to that group.
With Alec Brown, what do you see as far as his development, what he needs to work on, and then where do you see him playing next year if he has a chance on the roster, or maybe the D-League or whatever?
Alex, an elite shooter at 7 foot plus. We feel like he will be a very good fit for our team with our style, with the stretch 4 or the stretch 5. The bigs who can screen and pop and put a lot of pressure on the defense. He shot over 40% from 3 this year at Wisconsin Green Bay. He also blocked a few shots a game as well, so it's a unique combination where a guy can step out and hit threes and also protect the rim some. We've just had very preliminary conversations with Bill Duffy, his agent, and Bill's group, and we think it's likely that he'll probably go overseas and we'll retain his rights. We do have interest in him playing for our summer league team, and we think he may do that. But the pick just happened a half an hour ago, so there's still a lot to be sorted out.
Regarding the draft this year, last year you guys were drafting definitely 4 down the road. You picked 2 of the youngest guys in the draft, and you were looking for 2, 3, 4 years down the road with Archie and Alex. This year, was your mindset a little bit different? Were you looking for guys who might be a little bit more ready sooner?
Well, I think we drafted one 19-year-old and one 20-year-old, so probably. I guess our philosophy, at least my personal philosophy, has been to always draft the guy you think is going to be the best NBA player at the end of the day. Now will TJ and Tyler have a chance to come in and contribute right away? Sure, we hope so. You don't know how that's going to go, but like I've said before, what we'll never do is take a guy who might just be a little more ready, potentially a little better in the short term, and then have the guy zoom by him in 2, 3, 4 years from now, and have us be sitting here and say, shoot, why did we do that? So we feel like these guys have a chance to be pretty good players now, and really good players in the future.
When you look at TJ's offensive game, at least his skill set, is he more like a 4 now that you envision maybe becoming a 3 down the road with that 3-point shot, or is he a 3 now who's going to stay there, you think?
I think he's a 3. I think he's a straight 3. Maybe able to play a little bit of 4 in a small ball lineup, but his movement, his ball handling ability, his kind of knowledge, like Jeff was talking about, of how to shake a defender and get open on the perimeter. That's all pretty unique, in addition to pretty good size and strength and length. So, I think he's kind of a prototypical scoring small forward. At least that's how I envision him. But Coach, would be interested to get your thoughts on it as well.
Yeah, I think it gives us a different option. He's a guy, you look at a lot of teams in the league that have a guy that they can throw the ball to, 15, 20-foot range, and can take one dribble and get off a great shot or get to the hole. I think he's got that combination, especially at the 3 spot. He's got the good size where, if we work the play and get him the ball in that free throw line, top of the key area, and let him, just go with it, we got a good chance of getting a bucket out of it. So, that's a tough skill to have. A lot of guys, they can shoot open shots, but when you get down in, hopefully we're in the playoffs, and you start getting in the playoffs and tough games, you need tough buckets. He's a guy that we think can get tough buckets.